So thanks so much for following the Azolla series. So at the last of it, we normally receive questions from our clients and our followers and other farmers who are interested in doing the Azolla setup. So we've collected a number of your questions and we're going to answer them one by one. So let me just grab a seat and show you some of the questions you might have about this plant called Azolla. So come with me to a place whereby I can now show you some of the things. Oh, by the way, this is one of the ponds we are having here for the cat jerry can. And well, it's been a long series, so I can sit down and maybe answer your questions one by one. The first question that we've got from a number of farmers is, where do you get the Azolla? So that is pretty simple. So the place you'll get Azolla is, one, from a farmer who is already doing the Azolla farming. And then two, you can get it from agricultural resource centers, which are mostly run by the government or private institutions near to you. So if you need to grow, you need to look for a farmer close to you. One of the challenges that are there is sometimes the Azolla is still not popular in some places, and maybe you might find that you have to get it from very far, which sometimes is a challenge, because we have clients that are calling from different parts of the world. We have clients from South Africa, we have clients from Rwanda, we have some from Ethiopia, Uganda, but the challenge is always transporting over long periods of time, because the Azolla needs to be delivered like in 2 days. Because when we are delivering, like for example, if we have this one, we will have to drain the water. So we will be delivering the Azolla with some little water in it. So if it passes 2 days, there's higher chances of it going bad. So it's a challenge if the person is very far or the shipping has to take very long. So you get it from the nearest farm or agricultural resource. The second question that people ask is, how do I grow my Azolla? I think that one we have covered in all the series that we were doing for the Azolla. The third question many people ask is, why is my Azolla not growing? So some people have even bought the Azolla, planted, but it is not growing. So there are a number of reasons why your Azolla might not grow. So one, if the conditions, for example the temperature, which we said between 25 to 35 degrees, is not in that range. If the temperatures are extreme, for example, then the Azolla doesn't perform well. If the temperatures are also too extremely low, it also affects the growth. So that is one of the reasons. If the conditions are not met, we talked about the humidity, we talked about the temperature, we talked of the sunlight, we talked of even the pH, because everything might be okay, but the soil pH, the water pH, is not favorable for the Azolla. So that is where the farmer will find the challenge, and they will wonder what's wrong with the Azolla. And the other question we are receiving is, why is my Azolla turning red? So at the farm, well, we've never got an Azolla that is red yet. You see, like these ones are green. They are very green. So if you see your Azolla is turning, yellowish or reddish, it is telling you that the nutrients is not enough. So as a farmer, you need to add more nutrients to your Azolla. We talked of one of the nutrient sources, which was the cow manure. So this is well decomposed cow manure that you can use. So if you look at this manure, it's really well decomposed. So you add more nutrients to your pond. The other reason could be there's too much sunlight. So you think of doing a shade for your Azolla. It can be through shade net, or it can be even iron sheet shade. So that is also a question that people ask. The other question we got is, can I feed the Azolla to pigs? And on that question again, somebody also asked, can I feed it to a pregnant pig? So yes, Azolla is loaded with all the nutrients we've talked about, and it's really good for animals and birds, pigs included. So yes, you can feed it to the pig, and yes, you can feed it to a pregnant pig. The other question we received was what are the quantities or the ratios that I need to feed my livestock or the birds. So the quantities are a bit different depending on what you're feeding on. So there is there are birds, there are like cattle. So if you're feeding birds like chicken, then you need 100 to 200 grams every day. That is 0.1 to 0.2 kgs every day per bird. So you can do the calculation. If you have 200 birds times 200 grams or 100 grams daily. If you're having the cattle, then we are talking about 400 to 500 grams. So that is 0.4 to 0.5 kilos every single day. And the other question was, there's somebody who asked a question on, so there's the ratios. Somebody asked, how do I feed it to my animals? I think that one we have explained on the harvesting and feeding. You can feed it fresh the way it is, or you can also feed it, you dry it. So you can just sun dry the Azolla, or if you have the solar dryer, you just put it inside the solar dryer. Within a day or two, it will be dry. So that is on how to feed it to the Azolla. Somebody also asked, can we give the Azolla to dogs? Yes, it is very possible to give the Azolla to dogs. They might not eat it in the green form, but if you dry them and maybe do pellets, or dried and mixed with the dog food, then they will just eat it without any problem, because Azolla has something called lignin, so it is very easy for digestion for the birds or even for the livestock, even the dogs. So yes, you can feed it to the dog. Another person also asked, is Azolla eaten? Yes, it is eaten by the animals, but human beings, it's still not clear whether it's eaten or not. Although there are records of it being that it can be eaten, but we're not sure of that. So I think those are some of the most common questions that we got, that we decided it's good to cover in this FAQ session. But stay tuned. If you still have more questions, just shoot the questions. You can reach us on Twitter at Demi Farms. You can reach us on Facebook, Demi Farms. You can reach us on our phone numbers, or even on our website, which is demifarms.com, or demifarms.co.ke for those who are in Kenya. And anytime, we're always ready to answer your question, and we are always available on WhatsApp. We are available on Messenger on that. So thank you so much for following this series.